What a day. We're going to show you all the goals, all the fan footage, everything to come as we build up to the two games today, which, by the way, are Newcastle, West Ham and Tottenham against Manchester City. But first, Robbie Mustoe, your reflections on opening weekend so far, please.
Gosh, amazing. Emotional, I think, at times. The fans being in the stadiums and the power of those three of the top four we saw yesterday and the fettle that they're in. The fact that United and Chelsea have got other players to come into that. Liverpool looking great again. What I would say is, though, it was day one and it's the first weekend. And I think it's natural for all the teams, but maybe the big boys, to really raise their game with the fans being back in the stadium. It just makes us kind of realise what a tighter race we could get this season. But again, it's weekend number one. I'm looking at the consistency now. Let's forget the first part of it, because, you know, there's a question mark over Man United's ability to be consistent. Can Chelsea have the drive to continue? Liverpool, etc. We're going to see Man City today. It's going to be a couple of things, Rebecca. It's going to be the week in, week out, games you expected to win, who can keep on it, and it's going to be a mini-league. The mini-league between these four and how they do with each other, Rob's going to be interesting. And actually, one more part of it, the Champions League, when that comes in, the group stages and later in the knockout stages, how are all these big clubs going to manage that and still keep their eye on the big prize? And that's where you might get a benefit from your Liverpools, Man Uniteds and Chelsea's, where Man City might be a little bit more about the Champions League. So, as expected, tremendous first day yesterday, or Saturday yesterday. Really, really enjoyed it.
Your observations, Rob?
The big boys are in good nick, Rebecca. They've spent the money and they look like they're going to deliver. There's a difference about Manchester United than we've seen. And yes, it's day one, so we can't get too carried away. But when you think about what's to come into that team and what we saw and the emotion, I think you asked me yesterday, you know, is Ollie the right man? Can he get the job done? We're going to find out, Rebecca. This season, I think we've got a four-horse race and we're going to find out. And the point I would take away from what Robbie Mustoe said is that every minute of every game this season might be important. So whether you're playing Norwich, Watford or Brentford who've come up, or you're playing City, Arsenal, Liverpool at one end, every minute of every game could be a deciding factor in where the title ends up. And so the focus on every match, I think, is going to be huge. And just on the fans back have elevated what we're seeing. It's gone from games last season. The Leeds-Manchester United game was a good game, but it was just about a result. Now we got a memory. You got a memory that Old Trafford was jumping yesterday with 5 goals. I mean, the Brentford Community Stadium with the guy with the tears. And memories that we have from football. And that's the difference that the fans give you. They bring memories as well as good games.
Just one more point, Rebecca, if you don't mind. Like, just thinking about that, like, in the recent seasons, we've had two kind of teams going for it.
Yeah.
Going back to your good start and every minute counts. There's 4 now, Rebecca.
Yeah.
There's going to be 4. So if you get off to a bad start, you're going to have to overtake 3 other teams. I think that's the situation, and that's what goes back to my main point is who can be consistent and not drop off because there's 3 others that are going to jump down your throat.
And in a strange way, puts a little bit of pressure on Man City. You know, the other 3 have got good results. City going to Spurs have got to get their job done now.
And it also feels like 5th place is up for grabs as well. It could be anyone's. OK, so everyone's in position over here. The road trip of the season so far has been these 3. Goodness knows where they've been, but they're now in position in North London ahead of Tottenham against Manchester City a little bit later on. Graham, Lee and Arlo.
Rebecca, you don't want to know. But welcome to the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. The sun has just disappeared behind a grey cloud, but it's a warm day here in North London. This place is going to be rocking later. 61,000 fans in here. The gauntlet, gentlemen, has been laid down to title favourites Manchester City, as the Robbies were discussing there. We've seen the big boys flexing their muscles this weekend. How much are you surprised by that? How much did you expect it? And how much have the fans being present played a part in it?
Was a surprise? Not really. I think I expected a big start. If you look at the big teams who they were playing, no disrespect to the teams that came up, you'd expect Liverpool to beat Norwich. I expected Manchester United to score goals against Leeds, because Leeds always seem to let goals in, but I expected them to be a little bit better going forward. So, and Chelsea beating Palace, although it's Patrick Vieira, you'd expect that as well. But the way that they went about their job was very impressive. I think Robbie's right. I said Man City a bit of pressure on today. today. Although, you know, getting a draw at Tottenham over a period of a season, you've got to accumulate enough points to win the league. This could be 1 point today and a draw that you just go, that's a good result. So I wouldn't, if they don't win today, I don't go, City have fallen behind. I think it's a difficult game for them today because there's a lot of expectation. But impressive start, and obviously, you know, the mighty Bees winning against Arsenal. I mean, that's got to be the shock of the weekend, and a brilliant performance from them and a woeful one from Arsenal.
Definitely, and I think, picking up from what Lee said, I think the fact that Manchester United put away 5, you know, the performance of key players, Fernandes, we always talk about Pogba being, you know, let's see his potential. My goodness, if that's a marker for his season, he's going to be player of the year by Christmas. He was fantastic with 4 assists. I think clean sheets are really important. You know, Lee and I, both as defenders, coming off from your first game with a clean sheet, a solid performance is something you can lock in and say, right, this is our baseline for today, for the start of the season. And seeing, you know, 4 teams with clean sheets, you know, including Liverpool. They have to, every team, the beauty of the Premier League is you have to deal with your opponent no matter where they sit in the pyramid. You have to deal with an opponent having a go at you. Norwich did it, and Liverpool dealt with that. They absorbed the pressure. The example, as you said, with the performance of the weekend, without a shadow of a doubt, is Brentford's 2-0 comfortable win, really, over Arsenal. But equally, how bad Arsenal were. They looked so average, didn't score and conceded 2 in their first game. So all of these little signs are something coaches have to deal with and put right quickly, whether you've done well or you haven't done well.
Talking about Liverpool, they didn't spend a great deal of money, and they got the job done as well, didn't they? Listen, we've been to 2 games. We were at the Brentford Arsenal, we're at Norwich against Liverpool. Your takeaways from each game?
The fans, you know, the Norwich were brilliant, the fans, the atmosphere. But I think the one thing that stands out, and it will do, doesn't matter what the result is today, is Hey Jude at Brentford. That rendition after, not only that, it's the fact that we're doing our job now pitch side. It makes us excited. I think I had tingles down my spine listening to that. Not that it was Brentford and I've got an affiliation there, but it was against Arsenal. It was just the fact, the interaction between fans and us, and the fact that it was an absolutely brilliant night on Friday night from a footballing point of view, and football is back.
And I just think that the connection, you know, we said it Friday, the connection between the stands and the pitch gets the best out of players, got the best out of Brentford on Friday. And I think really, you know, it's about the top players in the league are used to playing under pressure. They love coming out and having that extra adrenaline, that dealing with an away crowd, dealing with your home fans and building something. And I think that's where we're going to see it different this year, is good players deal with pressure situations.
We nearly got the best out of you as well, didn't we?
No chance.
What are you talking about? Mid-season form for Graham. Rebecca, this place is going to be rocking a little bit later. We got through all of that without even mentioning Harry Kane. Lots more Kane chat, though, to come later.
Hi there, I'm Rebecca Lowe. Make sure you subscribe to watch highlights all season long and join us at the weekend at 7 a.m. Eastern on NBCSN for Premier League mornings, and sign up for Peacock Premium, where you'll have access to 175 exclusive live games all season long.